In this video, I tried to introduce you to use a continuous integration management system called Jenkins. I briefly cover questions about what are the basic functions of Jenkins, how to create a new project, how to set up a GitHub webhook in Jenkins. This is the front page of Jenkins. There are two build projects now in the system. In this project, the blue light means the last build is success. In this project Hello World 2, the red light means the last build in this project is failed. Let's go into this project. You can see all the builds here. If we go into one of these, we can look inside the building process. In the console output, we can see Jenkins execute your shell script to test and build your software. These logs are output for your test cases. As long as you can test and build your code on a command line, you can build it from Jenkins. In the polling log, you can see how Jenkins pull your code from GitHub. Next, I will introduce you the main functionality of Jenkins. The main functionality of Jenkins is to test and build your software automatically. That means every time you check in some code in your version control system, the Jenkins will build and test and build your software automatically. Now let's check in some code and see what will happen. My version control management system is GitHub. And I check out my code into a Linux machine. First, make some change. Add your change. Write some comments. And push your new code to the GitHub. Okay. Okay. The building is running. The GitHub knows that you check in some code, so he pull your code from the GitHub and run the new build. In the console output, you can see what happened during the building progress. Okay, you passed all of your test cases, and the build is success. The blue lines means the build is success. Last build is the number 9 build. Now you know the basic functionalities of Jenkins. Next, I will introduce you how to use it, how to create a new project. Before we create a new project, we need to configure Jenkins to talk to GitHub. You will need to download and install the GitHub plugin. Click the Manage Jenkins, Manage Plugins in the available. You can see there is a lot of plugins you can use. That means you can choose almost every version control system as your code base, such as SVN, and CAS. I have already installed the GitHub plugin. Here you can see. After you install the plugin, we can create a new building project. Click the new item. We will call it Hello World 2, Hello World 3. We will create a freestyle project. You can see there's quite a few things here. We're going to ignore a lot of here, but just focus on two basic configurations. The first is source code management. We choose Git. You can get your repository URL from GitHub. Make sure that you copy the HTTPS URL. And here, credentials, you need to input your GitHub account name and the password. Next goes into build triggers. Take the box build when a change is pushed to GitHub. Next, add a build step. We choose execute shell. This command is the bash script executed automatically when Jenkins builds your software. We put this shell in our code base, so every time you make a change, the Jenkins will pull your code from the GitHub and execute this shell to test your project and build your software. Click Save. This is your new project. So far so nice. You can create a new project, but it doesn't work. Remember that the basic functionality of Jenkins is to, if you check in some code, the GitHub will push some message to a Jenkins. So Jenkins will pull your code from your GitHub repository, but now the GitHub doesn't know the existence of your Jenkins. So if you check in some code, the GitHub will push nothing. So next step, I will introduce you how to set up a GitHub webhook in Jenkins so that the GitHub will push a message every time you check in some code. We are pretty close to being done. The final step is to head over to your GitHub and adjust the settings for the project by creating a webhook for your Jenkins servers. Select the repository you are interested in and click Settings. The GitHub steps are pretty straightforward. Open the webhooks and the service. You can see I already created a webhooks. You can delete it. Click Add Service. Find the Jenkins plugin. Jenkins GitHub plugin. And fill it with a similar URL to this one. HTTP, your server's name, 8080 is your Jenkins port, and a GitHub webhook. Make sure to tick the active box and ensure it works by running the test service. This is test service. Okay, in this video, we talked about what are the basic functionalities of Jenkins and how to create a new project. Finally, I introduce you to set up a GitHub webhook in Jenkins. So that's it. The final tip is Jenkins should have an SSH key already associated with the desired GitHub project. If you don't know how to do it, just Google it. GitHub SSH key. Okay, that's the steps. Okay, that's it. Enjoy your trip to continuous integration. Thank you.